My name is Jeff asked, what is the typical drug of choice for those who have ADHD? You know, I think that the first line defense is usually Adderall, but I don't know. Yeah, most people start with Adderall or also Ritalin, methylphenidate, but I don't know anything about meds. Sam, hi. Oh boy. Okay, good. You're gone. You know, Fran, I think that the For You page is just recommending my videos again. It's interesting because some of my recent videos, like before I started telling my story, they'd have 100,000 plus views, but 70% of those views would come from people on my personal page. So I think that that's just what it is. Yeah. So plenty of people were like looking at my page. I've been listening to this like song that has Glorilla on it. Let me just pull it up because her verse is really good. And I'm doing well. Oh yeah, I was saying I went to Kimmy Dawson last night and then I slept in and then I made it to an Orange Theory class. That was super fun. I really love Orange Theory, you guys. I'm kind of getting addicted to it. And Sam, thank you. Here they are. They're looking a little rough, but yeah. Oh, I gotta get new flowers. Yeah. Let me pull out the bad ones. Oh yeah. Okay. That one's gross. That one's not good. I should go get some basil or something. There we go. That's kind of cute. But then you can't see my sobriety for ADHDers thing. Blocking my light. I don't know what to do. Kentrification's here. What's up? Let's go. There we go. That's good enough, I guess. But yeah, I almost went to Trader Joe's or Costco today, but I needed to send out my thank you, my email to my email list. The AI really gets me whenever it like suggests certain things. Comment your experiences. Talia, I haven't seen you in a while, dude. What's up? Aw, hey Chandler. Thank you. You're so sweet with the gifts. What's up, Ashley? And then, okay, so I will tell you about my day. So then I went to my esthetician. I've been getting waxed for 20 years. Oh, what's up, Moonlight? Okay, are you up really early? Or are you staying up late? Tell me, my super fan Moonlight. Hey, B. Fran, I don't know what you're saying. Like your ChatGPT. Oh, it's up late. Okay. Well, I appreciate you being here. I've been trying to go live earlier for my UK peeps because there's quite a few. But I'm glad you're here now. So I have been seeing my esthetician since I was 18 years old, maybe even younger. Hey, Kev. I am 36. And I thought that she was like, she had seen everything on TikTok and wasn't texting me. I see her like 3 times a year. Because that's the nice thing about getting waxed for 20 years is you don't really have to go very much. And I was reading the comments on the video that went viral of somebody asking me, "You're so pretty, do you have diabetes?" And someone asked, like, someone in the comments was like, someone asked her if she's team bald or team bush. And people were like, "What did she say?" And they caught it. They were like, "She said she's team landing strip." And I was like, I am. You know, I don't want to look like a child. I'm not 8. But I also, you know, landing strip forever. I know. So it was funny that they clocked that. So anyway, I go to this woman, and she also, like, she waxes me. It's wonderful. I don't shave. I don't like to shave, but I do like getting waxed. Fun fact about me. And so, you know, she's someone that's been a mainstay in my life for 20 years, and she's on TikTok a lot. And so I was like, God, I really got to see Danitza, but I haven't heard from her at all. What's up, Vanane? And so I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to text her. What did I say? I was like, I'm sure you've heard. I said, you should see my pits. I'm sure you've seen everything on TikTok. Fucking wild. Effing wild. I don't know if I'm allowed. I promise I'm not mentally ill, just normal Kendra. Cause like, yeah, that was kind of okay, what do I want to say? So, you know, I thought that she had just seen everything and decided to distance herself from me. Cause like a lot of my friends reached out and were like, "Are you okay?" Even the ones that I didn't think were on TikTok. Yes, I am. I am holding, it's a kyanite crystal. Yeah. And she said, "Hey girl, good morning. I have no idea what you're talking about. I can see you this way." You know, she was like, "I can see you on this day. I can see you on the 18th or the 19th. And I can't wait to see what's on TikTok. And I know you're crazy, but you're not mentally ill." And that's it. You know, I am a little cuckoo, but I am me. Thank you, Heck. I love you too. And I'm so glad, Moonlight. I'm glad you like my crystal. I love it too. You know, I had a lapis sphere and I can't find it anywhere. And it's driving me nuts. I am sober. I am sober from alcohol. Hey, Ashlyn. And I am leading a group helping others get sober. So if people are interested in learning about my Sobriety for ADHDers group, you can click there's no clicking. Follow the link. So, hey, JJ, I don't know where Sass is, so I'm going to give you muting and blocking privileges back. So I'm talking about, hey, Sass. Hey, Kevin. Kevin, I'm telling a story right now, but do you want to be a guest? I know that you host people, but I'll have you on if you want to chat for a little bit. Just sick and multitasking. Thanks for the gift, Camila. It's corn. Okay, so Danitza said, you know, I made the appointment, and so I showed up, and she had no idea. This woman who lives in my same city, who is on TikTok often, had not seen me at all on her FYP. And thank you, they're almost 10. And I love corn too. I showed her My book title is misspelled in my bio. I'll fix it. Okay, Kevin, cool. So I told her about everything and she was like, is this a movie? Like, it could be. It could be a movie. Thanks, Sophia. Hey, good to see you. And it was just a wild experience. And like, I watched the video, like the first few videos with her, and it's so crazy to me that people were saying that I was insane and manic, because to me, I sounded really reasonable. And I asked her, I was like, do I seem crazy in here to you? And she was like, no. I'm saving the pollinators. Oh, hey, yeah, I remember you. I'm finally finishing my story. Yay, JJ, good. Well, Sass is here blocking and blessing, so we're good. But I just couldn't believe like how rational and well put together I sounded. And I've been getting a lot of content on my For You page about like what people attack you for is where your strengths are. And I was like, oh, Sophia, thanks for the gifts. And I was like, oh, wait, yeah, that's right. Okay. So it was just a good reminder of like, oh, I don't have to believe what other people think about me. And this is why I'm here too, is just to let people know that they don't have to let a group of bullies dictate what they do or how they view themselves. And that it's really like loving yourself no matter what is what we're here on earth to do. Triceratops asked, do the mods get paid? No, they are all volunteer. Hey, Steven, hola. Salad, DM me. I've done a few interviews. I kind of just vibe it out. Are you ready, Kevin? Yeah, I did an interesting interview with a grad student. Okay, I'll invite you. At ASU. Hey, Kevin.
Okay, how do I connect my...
Your video. I might have to give you.
Okay, I got it.
There we go. Yay!
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I like your purple background.
Thanks. It's a light.
So, Kevin, you're sober too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody just asked
Yeah,
why
I
it's so... Go ahead.
I started my recovery journey in my early 20s, so I've been at it for a while.
Yes. I was 32 when I got sober. So I like to say I retired from drinking. Someone asked, why is sobriety so hard? And something that I talk to Kevin a lot about actually is, or like often we've talked about a little bit, is disassociation. And I think a lot of people are addicted to disassociating, and that like drinking or drugging makes it easy to do. Kevin, do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's much easier today to dissociate. And we have a lot of things going on that like are supporting it, and we don't even realize it, how we're like almost trained to dissociate.
Yes. And I think that that is a lot of why people are so upset with my presence on this app is I am not disassociating, and I'm very much in my body and in my experience. And it makes people feel angry and confronted because they're not used to that, I don't think. And I think that you get a little bit of that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when you're direct, like that's what I find, that people have a really, really hard time when someone is direct or when someone's direct towards them. It like doesn't even matter. It's just any kind of directness energy is very triggering to people, I find.
So Triceratops asked, how can you be sober from alcohol but not gardening? So with me personally, I chose to keep gardening in my life, one, because it helped me quit alcohol. And that's part of what I teach in my group. For ADHDers, we need options. But then two, now I use gardening like once or twice a month in a medicinal way. And I know that I'm using it too much when it takes me out of my body. And when I feel like it's taking me away from my life instead of adding to it. Kevin, do you use 12 steps? Are you a 12-step community member?
I am not a member, but I've been through it. So I started off in 12-step, and I think that it can be really helpful for a lot of people. I think it's good for everyone to kind of have a foundation of what it is, what the 12 steps are, and kind of taking a peek into that world to see if it's for them, or to just kind of have a knowledge of it, I find is helpful.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because I had been in other 12-step meetings before, and like I've mentioned sometimes that I have been, like when my alcohol cravings were really bad, I have been to meetings before, but I didn't like people telling me the right way to be sober.
Yeah.
That's kind of
definitely like, very limiting. It can be limiting. It can also be almost like imprisoning in a way that it constantly is re-traumatizing the experience of what addiction was like. So it's a lot of retelling the same story, a lot of labeling, constantly calling yourself an alcoholic or addict. So there's a lot of that that's not helpful.
Exactly. That's it. Like identifying as an alcoholic or identifying in a certain way where I'm like, no, I don't view myself as a drinker anymore. I don't drink. Heck asked a really good question. Do you have to be an alcoholic to get sober, or is it just giving up alcohol in general? So about me, when I decided to quit drinking, I would have never pegged myself as someone with a drinking problem. I was just like, okay, I'm tired of hangovers. My acupuncturist is telling me that I need to quit. So I'm going to be sober curious and quit. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. So like, I think that a lot of people who drink a lot don't realize how deep into their alcohol addiction that they are until they try to stop.
I always measure it by consequences. So that's what I always talk to people about when they are thinking about their relationship with substances. I always ask what their consequences are from their use or from engaging in that behavior. And that's the best way, I think, to gauge whether someone has a problem or not, or if they identify with the term alcoholic or addiction or not. You know, I always just kind of redirect it to what consequences are you having from that substance or that behavior.
Yeah. Lauren Disco Ball, I see you. And Chandler, let's take a moment to celebrate Chandler for 9 months sober. Let's go, Chandler. We love you. Chandler's such a special part of my community. AI says, sobriety discussion. Ask about disassociation. I don't know why. That's so funny to me. Funko Pop, welcome back.
The first year is so powerful of addiction recovery. The first year, so much happens.
So much, yes. Anne asked, how much did you drink at your lowest point? So it was probably like the year before I quit, and it was the pandemic. So I was drinking at least a tall boy of White Claw a day. Like, so that's 2 drinks. And then on, like, when I would go out, I would drink like 4 drinks, lots of whiskey. And that's the thing, is I didn't even think of it as my lowest point. Hex says, can't, I'm busy disassociating. Can't comment on disassociating, I'm busy disassociating. A says 2 weeks sober. Nothing happened, just wanted a healthy change. 2 weeks is also a huge accomplishment.
And it's interesting that you transitioned into a lot of sobriety work too, because a lot of people don't realize that ADHD and addiction are very common.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
that's what I've done.
I think there's a lot of overlap, and that's why, and it's like the addiction help with people, it just kind of happened. More and more people, like of my clients, because I just talk about being sober a lot on Instagram, and more people saw that, and they're like, oh, I want Kendra's help. And so most of my clients now are looking for that. Thank you, Eric. It's actually a dress, and I love it. It's got pockets. Kevin, you've got someone in here, the waffles.
Waffles. Hi, waffles.
So Kevin is
earlier.
Oh, nice. Kevin is a very prolific content creator. I enjoy Kevin's content a lot. And the FYP actually gave him one of my videos. It was like at like the height of harassment from mental health professionals. Like it was so bad how abusive mental health professionals were towards me for telling my truth. And Kevin, his video showed up on my FYP, and you didn't even name me. Like, that was the other thing that these abusive mental health professionals were doing. They weren't naming me. And you just made the statement, it is never okay to comment on another creator's mental health, especially if you are in a position of being a therapist, which you are a therapist, correct?
Yeah, I'm not currently licensed, but I've been licensed for years, and I've gone the coaching route and chosen that. But I've worked with so many professionals licensed, and watching all that was really gross. Like, it was really gross. It was very disturbing to watch. Professionals would comment to the extent, and even like deep dive into analyzing you based on those videos was disturbing.
Oh yeah, the deep dives, exactly. And that's exactly what my esthetician said today. She was like, how do these people know that like what your experience is based on a TikTok video? I'm like, exactly. But they just spoke with such fact, like they knew me well and had been treating me. It was disturbing. But it made me want to not stop. It was kind of counterintuitive. And anyway, all that to say, Kevin, is that it took a lot of guts for professionals who like to defend me. And, you know, Abby did it by name, and Abby like also got abused and harassed, but she was like, it's okay, I'm sticking up for you. And so it was good to hear. It really was like a hug. And then Jordan Peterson, who's a gay therapist out of Indiana, he also made a lot. There were several, like, I have to remind myself that there's a lot of good mental health practitioners out there, and they're just usually more quiet.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you started with a new one, right? And you started with
a new
therapist.
I found a therapist, and she's incredible and very affirming. And something that I mentioned to you and something that I mentioned on live a lot is that she is so offline. Like, she doesn't even have a Facebook, but she just says like, you know, I told her about like how the harassment campaign contacted my family through Facebook and like harassed them. And she was like, what is wrong with these people? I'm like, I know. And then she also said, it just seems like your humanity was taken away. I'm like, that's exactly what it was. People, that's the thing about people on the internet, I think, is they just forget that I'm a real human. Speaking of that, able to see my humanity. Heck says, do you find it hard to relate to her if she isn't on the internet so much? No, actually, I was kind of like, if anything, it's more refreshing. And I don't think I need to relate to her to be able to have her work on my trauma, like help me process my trauma. Because that was the biggest thing is I needed her to be an EMDR therapist. But yeah, that's a good. Serenity asked how old is she in like an age group range. She is, I asked her this last session. I would have guessed she's my age. She's 49 years old. I was like, whoa. So it's kind of nice to have like, she's not so much older than me because that was part of why my therapist who cried when I left her, she was in her 70s. And that's something that I've had like many people say, like, yeah, I'll never see a therapist who's near retirement again. And so it's nice, like, it's nice that she's older than me, but that she's still young-ish. I think that that's a good age for me. Kevin, how old are you?
I am 42.
You're 42. Okay, so you're an elder millennial. Yeah. So that's cool that you're a coach because I saw your office. So do you mostly work with people in office?
I do in office and virtual. It's kind of like 50-50. And my license was in addiction counseling. So that's what all my degrees are in, addiction counseling. So it was very, very specialized in my license. It was just for substance abuse counseling. So that was limiting. And it's hard to see people for other things outside of substance abuse counseling when you have a substance abuse license. So that's why I decided to branch out because the board initially approved my practice under life coaching and counseling. So I was licensed, and then they changed the structure of it to kind of limit life coaching in Arizona. That's kind of like the direction it's going, where they're not wanting licensed people to offer coaching. They want to just like delete coaching from their practices. So was what happened to me. So I chose to go the coaching route because it was broader and I wasn't taking insurance anyway. So it worked out for me. And then I don't have to deal with the board anymore. I have my clients from before and then new clients.
Well, and that's what I try to explain to people about coaching is that it's about like I've achieved success in my ADHD and taking control of it. And that's what I teach my clients too. And now, you know, I'm coming up on 5 years sober, and that's also what I help my clients with. So that's what is so great about coaching. It's just about helping others achieve what, you know, you yourself have achieved. And it's really a beautiful thing. I'm so grateful to be able to do that.
And for anyone who's a coach and has a business and a coaching business, it's not easy. And there are just as great of coaches as therapists. And I've experienced actually more help through coaching, like just myself personally. Like I have a life coach and I had therapists throughout the years, but I've gotten more out of the life coaches I've been to than the therapists.
Same.
So I think that therapists are very slept on. They have a lot of negative, they get a bad rap because of the licensure thing. But really, when you look at licensure for counselors, you don't even need a license to be a counselor, at least in the state of Arizona. You can work if you work for an agency where someone has a license, then it just falls under their license. So there's a area that people don't even realize about the counseling profession, that people, like, I could still go be a therapist at an agency even though I'm not licensed. I have if you have a master's degree in counseling social work, that's all you need to be a therapist at an agency. So a lot of people don't realize that. But yeah, the coaching
I
work.
had no idea. Exactly. And that's, I mean, I don't pretend to be licensed. I don't say I'm licensed. I just say I help people. And that's exactly like when the harassment campaign was going crazy, with me being an unlicensed coach. And I was just like, I was talking to my coach about it. And she told me, she was like, Kendra, the people who are like dogging you about that, it shows their limitations and that they don't want to invest in themselves to become greater. I'm like, oh, that's such a good point. Because yeah, there was just a lot of negativity. All right, let me check in with the comments. Hart asked, what's that? It's protection incense. It smells really nice. When I was in Portland, I re-upped on my incense. Banane says, I get that, good. Yes. Kelsey Girl says, I love your videos. They are so awesome. Thanks, Kelsey. It feels good to tell my story. Chandler said, I have a therapist in his 70s and it was an awful experience. Yeah. Shisha asked, I don't know why it's not letting me unmute you, but how is your mental health with all the videos online about your experience? You know, so something that I do is I just ignore the negativity. That's all I can do, and focus on people like Kevin who have positive things to say, who recognize that, you know, sometimes the underdog has something to say and is important to listen to. That's wild, but not surprising they're wanting that. There's lots of misinformation here. Let's hear Becca. Tell us what we're misinformed about. But yeah, I didn't know that, Kevin, about anyone can be a counselor and practice under someone's license.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if you're at an agency, or even if you're, it's called supervision. So that supervision is very different from person to person, agency to agency. So it's like, just as long as someone's like checking in or they're having a meeting or talking, it's just like a regular staff meeting is considered supervision. So any kind of like staff interaction with a manager is similar to supervision.
Sam Bam said, I thought you needed a license to be a therapist. Well, you do, but Kevin just said that at least in the state that we're in, there is a workaround.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then Triceratops asked, isn't generalizing a person therapist ageism? So I didn't even put together like to not go to an older therapist until someone DM'd me and told me it makes sense that your therapist was in her 70s. I won't ever go to a therapist who's near retirement again. Because I kind of had the opposite thought, is like, oh, someone who's near retirement has a lot of experience and is really good. But this woman was texting me asking for advice about her other clients. Like, it was weird. Becca says it's not a workaround. You're under your supervisor's license, that they are then liable. I think that's what Kevin said. Isn't that what you said?
Right.
Yeah.
So they're not a licensed therapist. They're underneath someone's license at the agency.
Yeah.
So yeah, someone's taking someone, and that's where it's like, it's a lot of liability for an independently licensed person to take on people under their license. Like that's a huge liability that I would not do if I was independently licensed, because you're just hoping that these people would do the right thing, you know, and act ethically. So there's some risk there.
Yeah, I learned that it's a lot to ask therapists to act ethically. That was the other thing, is like I've been telling my therapist about how other therapists have been acting, and she's like, yeah, we're really a mixed bag of professionals.
And it was interesting too. I think Sass commented on, or it was under Sass's comment on one of your recent posts about how therapists and psychiatrists will stack their schedules with stable patients and that they like, that they like have a connection with because it's easy money, and they kind of like the clients too. So it's that happens a lot more than people realize. That when doctors say they're not accepting new clients, that's by design most of the time. But
it's because they're stacked.
Yeah. They're keeping people longer than they should and seeing them more often than they need to be seen. Because it's good business, and they're reliable business, their insurance is stable, they'll show up for appointments, so they want to keep those people.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what's kind of nice too, is like I have some clients who re-sign with me, but others, they get what they need after 3 months and then that's it. And it's nice to have the option instead of like really being like, I don't know. The insurance, I like paying my therapist in cash now. It's kind of nice to be able to support her in that way. I can tell she doesn't get a lot of cash clients or like self-pay clients at least. And I think it's beautiful when therapists are mostly take insurance, but as someone who operates a cash business, I couldn't imagine like delivering services and having to wait to bill.
Yeah.
So, hey, Hart. So you said you did not take insurance when you were a therapist?
No. When I was working under my license and I had my supervised private practice, I didn't take insurance.
Yeah, because that just sounds like a lot.
Have you done a lot of art therapy or therapeutic art in your coaching?
I actually haven't. No, I
started to do that right before the pandemic, incorporating art, because I dated an artist. So I highly recommend everyone do that at some point. But that was great for my practice and clients, because I had a lot of clients who were stagnant, that were just like not moving forward, and incorporating art into their recovery kind of helped shift a lot of things.
Hey, Brinks. No, that's so good. I actually, when I was in Portland, one of my therapists there worked at an art therapy studio. And so that was, it was a really sweet environment, like being around all the art, but she herself wasn't an art therapist. Heck says I'm dating an artist right now. We're ignoring what the tribal guys said. Banana sounds lovely, yeah. Sometimes the comments get a little funny.
And I do groups too, like therapeutic art is the focus of the groups I do in person, and the most popular one is the vision board group. So I do that like every January.
That's so fun. I think I might do a vision board this year. That's awesome. So Alicia is asking like...
You should come if you're in town in January. I'll let you know the date.
Please do, yes. So Alicia's asking like ART, the therapy? I think it's just...
Like literally creative painting, like not there's a different type that's an acronym for another type of therapy, I think. Like EMDR, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
But no, like art with painting and coloring and gluing, like that kind.
You know, something that was cool. So my therapist, half of her clients are children and the other half are adults. And she says that sometimes with both kids and adults, she'll do like active play to help them like get out of therapy mode. And I think that that's kind of cool too with the art therapy, is like to do active art while you're like processing.
Yeah. It's like inner child work too, a lot of times.
Yes.
And you know how like if we're like remember like the fidget spinners and stuff, like that was a big thing years ago, like just doing something with your hands while talking, it helps loosen us up for some reason. Just having that physical distraction and kind of like mental multitasking can help lower the I don't know, the threshold for like being uncomfortable in a therapeutic setting. So it just flows easier, lighter when there's art involved.
Yes, I had a fidget spinner, banana. I don't think I ever had a fidget spinner.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that though.
I used to have a ring. That would spin too.
I think I just turned my rings into fidget spinners. I do. I just like spin them myself. That's okay.
So yeah, there's something, there's some science there of where if you're engaging in something, you're gonna be more willing to open up and share. You're not gonna feel as vulnerable. And there's just something about art, because it's using that other side of the brain
right.
So when you combine those parts of the brain together in a healing, safe environment, it's powerful.
Yes, cut water. No, this is I don't drink. This is a spindrift. Hey Kara. Heck,
And did you start your group yet? The sobriety group? Has that
no,
started?
it starts December 8th. I'm really excited. Because people have been asking me for like a more affordable option for my coaching. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to do a group so we can all support each other too. It just seems like a really beautiful thing. It sounds like you have a lot of experience with leading groups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to do a lot of inpatient groups too. So I've worked like inpatient psych. I used to work at Arizona State Hospital, it's like the old historic insane asylum. So there's lots of changes have happened at that facility the last 50 years. So
yeah.
So I've worked a lot of forensic populations, civil populations. I've worked a lot of like outpatient rehabs and inpatient rehabs. And for the courts, doing DUI assessments, domestic violence, any kind of court-ordered treatment. I've done all that also.
And you like coaching the most?
Yes. Yeah, I feel like it's just kind of gravitated towards coaching, because within addiction counseling, you're doing all kinds of coaching and counseling anyway. Like addiction is not just about the substance or the behavior. That's usually a symptom of something else. So it doesn't even make sense to me why there's specific addiction programs, like masters in addiction counseling. There should just be counseling for everything, and people can like specialize in it separate without having that restricted license. So I don't recommend anyone get an addiction master's degree. Go for the professional counseling.
For the overall one.
Yeah, professional counseling. Do not ever do an addiction counseling degree, because it's too limiting.
Yeah, that's such a bummer that the board like really tried to stifle you there. Um, Everyone's inspired and gonna do a vision board right now in the comments.
Yes.
They're all
Yeah,
talking
do any
about
kind
it.
of art. Like, what's really cool too is if you Google like art prompts, like I'll do that. Sometimes like during COVID, I was still trying to do the groups online. So we would just do like doodling prompts, like, okay, everyone draw a house or something. So everyone would just like kind of doodle and draw a house and then share it with the group or draw whatever was the prompt.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Yeah, and somebody actually posted my seventh grade science teacher encouraged us to doodle in class because apparently it improves learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's going to prevent disassociation to bring it full circle. If you're
Oh,
engaging in something that's
yes.
connecting to you to the present moment, that's a way to self-medicate in a healthy way to prevent disassociation. Is if you're doing that fidget spinner, doodling, anything that's connecting you to the present.
Oh, I love that. Yes, that's it. Like, yeah, that's really good. Chandler says I'm always doodling in my classes. There we go. Staying present.
I think I could be wrong about this, but I think that's a sign of higher intelligence. I think there is like legit studies that doodlers have higher intelligence. I don't think I'm making that up,
That's
but it
look
sounds
at
good.
look
But
at
I
all
think
the
there.
super fans who are doodlers. Of course.
Yes, I know.
Of course my super fans are of higher intelligence. That's
I'm going to research that, but I'm pretty sure there is a study that shows that.
Yes. Okay, I think it is time to wrap up the live. Thank you, Kevin, for coming in. And yeah, I'll be on. I'm gonna keep telling my story this week, everyone, and I'm gonna be on more, and we can talk more about sobriety. Kevin, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your journey, and thank you for being a guest on my live.
Yes, anytime. All right. Happy doodling.
Thank you.
How do I get out?
I'll get you out.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Yeah, have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. And it's just, it feels really good to finish and to be true to myself. And that is my wish for everyone here is to, for you to be true to yourself as well. Yeah. Okay. Good night, everybody. I showed you. I just have to be careful. Okay. Bye.